Hey,
everybody.
You're rude.
It's because we were synchronized.
Yeah, so it wasn't very synchronized. But anyway, how's it going? This is SexyNerdScience, Season 3, Episode 15. Oh, we missed it, guys. Last week we should have did 3.14. What? Come on. We didn't even think about it.
We should have eaten pie, too.
We should have. Dale, you with us today?
I'm here. Sorry, I was talking and realized you couldn't hear me because I muted myself.
Oh,
that's my favorite.
That's what happens when you have a new setup and you have to remember that XLR is, actually it's not unaffected.
I know, I just don't push the same buttons.
I know.
But
so we got a good show for you guys tonight, as always. When you are listening to this, we will be
each episode is better, Drew. You got to make sure that people know that. This week, better than last week. And the weekend before, better than that one.
So this week is how many episodes? 96 episodes, 96 times better than episode 1?
Something like that.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Is it not like logarithmic?
What do you mean?
Like,
I think it would be 1 over X exponentially. We just need to be slightly better.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so
forever.
So as you guys are listening to this, we will be halfway. Not halfway. One of us will be in Kansas City already, and the other 2 of us will be on our way to Kansas City, to Planet Comicon.
I think I might post this on Wednesday.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, just because it's going to be
the day before we
leave. Before. Well, because you guys have.
Oh yeah, I guess you'll be.
Yeah, I got there at 6 a.m. already. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're already listening to this, then we'll probably be leaving tomorrow.
Comic-Con!
We're still going to Comic-Con, guys.
Yeah.
By all the work that we've done, I guarantee that we're all super excited about it. But yeah, we have a great thing lined up. We have the booth, as always, like we've been talking about for the last month and a half.
Not as always. We can't say as always because that was a last-minute addition there.
The booth? The booth
Hail Mary. Hail Mary.
We've had the booth for a month and a half.
And how long have we been planning Comic-Con?
I mean, not seriously planning. We've seriously been planning since we decided to buy a booth.
Dale, when did you buy a ticket?
I didn't buy a ticket at all.
Not the Planet Comic-Con plane ticket.
Oh, I don't know. Not always.
I feel like it was February.
I thought Dale bought the ticket like as soon as we got the word that we were going to do Comic-Con.
Hell no. No, I bought it like almost last minute.
That's what I'm
talking last about. Minute? I thought you bought it.
He bought it like when we were talking about when we've got back or heard back from him or whatever.
I thought Dale bought it a long time before that.
Nope.
March 23rd.
See, yeah. We
a month ago. Wow.
Yes. Your Delta purchase confirmation.
So yeah, not as always, but we've been pretty consistent with last minute kind of plans. So anyway, we are going to be at Planet Comicon with this booth space that we have bought.
2224, right?
2224 is our booth space. We are on the first page of the map. If you get the booklet, we will be on the first page, it seems backwards to do it that way, but they do it left to right. It's not terrible, but so we will be on the first page to the far right of the map when you receive your pamphlet. And then we are right next to the Krypton comic booth, or one pod away from the Krypton comic booth, which are ironically enough from Omaha as well.
I really wish that I want to check to see if there's someone that has this number, but cell block 2187.
2187. I can look that up if you guys want to queue up this next little bit here. Or wait, do we want to, are we finalizing those shirts? Do we want to talk about those shirts that'll be available?
So yeah, we can talk about the shirts. I talked with Amanda today about it, and we're going to work on it tomorrow.
Okay.
And we'll have them up by Thursday before we start heading to con itself. But for a quick design, we're going to have the basic, obviously, T-shirts that we sold before. We'll have it on a few different items, a few different colors for options. A lot of people requested that. But we'll also have a new design for Planet Comicon, and you're going to have to be there or wait until after to find out what it looks like. But it's definitely worth it.
Well, they should, if you're not there, you'll be able to, how are we going to do that? Because it's a Teespring campaign. So,
well, they can see it if they just log on, but
and we can put it on Facebook.
Yeah, but if we're going to make it PCCC exclusive or PCKC exclusive, how are we going to do that? It's just going to be available. Those are semantics we can work out, I guess, on the back end.
If someone is so desperate to buy a PCC Sexy Nerd Science t-shirt that they're going to buy one and not even go to Planet Comicon, I don't mind that.
Yeah, I don't mind it either. I was just wondering how, it's not exclusive there's no exclusivity if we let everybody buy it.
Point is, though, it means more if you buy it through us instead of going online.
Fair enough.
Which, whatever.
Yeah. So,
point is, check us out at the comic book convention. Can you still call it a comic book convention? With so many different cosplayers and celebrities.
they
still call it a Comic-Con, but it's one word. It's more of just a semantic style.
Yeah, a nerd expo.
Yeah,
it's basically a nerd expo.
I like how C2E2 did that, like the comic expo.
Yeah,
it's the expo, so it's both. You know what I'm talking about, Josh? You look confused.
Comic-Con, Chicago Comic-Con, or C2E2 is.
Is it a Chicago Comic Expo and Entertainment or something like that?
It's Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo.
Yeah. So everything, all inclusive.
Which happened this past weekend. As of recording this, the weekend before Planet Comicon, we had some friends that were there. I saw some amazing pictures. I even saw some articles from C2E2 of amazing cosplays. All around, just awesome looking con. Really upset that we didn't get to make it there this year, but we had a wedding and work issues and stuff like that.
And preparation for our first booth con. So,
yeah, shout out to my my friend Dana Gunderson now and Eric Gunderson, her husband. I don't believe they listen to this podcast, but they're right now in the air flying to Rome. So they are flying business class. It's different than first class, if you didn't know. And
is it Fight Club class?
Flight Club class?
Fight Club class.
I'm not sure what that is.
Are they on United Airlines?
No, they would not be on United Airlines.
They don't have Fight Club class.
Okay. No, it's business class through Delta. And they're definitely enjoying themselves. They had a fantastic wedding. We were there last night. Because today is Monday. They had their wedding on Sunday. Fantastic wedding. Very happy to be there for them.
Josh, what was the booth number you were looking for?
2187.
2187. Sorry, continue.
But let's move on to the next portion while Drew looks up that.
So people are curious. 2187 is like where Princess Leia was in Star Wars. It happens to also be Finn's stormtrooper number 2187. So
really,
it's a reoccurring number throughout the Star Wars franchise. So,
do you know my address when I was living at home, Josh?
Not 1531. That's Daniel's.
It's 2185.
Yeah.
My next door neighbor's was 2187.
the next door neighbors
My
towards
next
the
door
flower
neighbor.
shop?
No, that was
Or
fine.
other side? Okay.
Other side.
Good.
I didn't know that. Should have paid attention.
Yep. Should have been Star Wars fans.
Yeah, should have been back then.
It caps at 2147 and then flips to 22.
What if there's like an Easter egg, like holidays Easter egg inside?
They hide it?
Like there's a booth 2187, and if we find it, it's just like Mark Hamill, like turns around in a chair.
Maybe.
He's like, "You found my room."
Yeah.
Or
it caps at 2147, and then it jumps to 2200s on the other side. So it's if you're looking at the map, top or bottom up, it starts at the 220 or 2100, and then up to the top of the map would be the 2247 or 2147, and then it flips back down, it's bottom to top again in the 2200s. So
bottom to top, I stop.
and this is also dependent on how you orient the map.
yeah, I mean, if you're
Top
looking
and
at,
bottom art.
if you're looking at it via in the pamphlet,
Is there a compass on there? Compass rose?
there is not a compass rose that I have seen.
We need to make one and redistribute edited copies with a compass on them.
And
That's the only change.
Sexy Nerd Science. there's no marker for Sexy Nerd Science.
No other change.
What if the compass always
rose.
just pointed towards
No matter
true
where you
north,
are.
which was Sexy Nerd Science's?
Wait, hold on, pause. So it would be like a Marauders map, sort of.
No, it would be more like
I don't
Johnny
think.
Depp or Captain Jack's compass that points you in the direction of whatever you want.
Yeah, I don't think I'm familiar with the Marauders map that much.
From Harry
That's,
Potter?
Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
I knew it was from Harry Potter, but I didn't know it always ported towards stuff like that.
It doesn't. It just shows you where everyone's at.
Gotcha. But let's move on to the next part of Sexy News. I saw this on Facebook, and I thought I wanted to touch base on it real quick. It was a guy who waits in line for a living. It was a YouTube or as a video, and I came across it, and I thought it was very interesting. We will most likely have it in the description, and I think I might have either posted it on our page on Facebook, or I definitely will post it on our page. It's a guy back when the iPhone 5S came out. A guy asked him if he could stand in line. He ended up standing in line for it, got paid to stand in line. And another guy's like, "Oh, will you stand in line for me?" Blah, 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 as he was leaving. He did it a few times as he went through. And then finally, he ended up figuring out, hey, maybe I can make this into a living. So he ended up going to different shows or I'm not sure if he started a website or what, but he started a company that you can call him. He'll stand in line for you, and he'll get you tickets to different shows. He'll get you, new phones or whatever comes out. I think it's a unique and interesting way to exploit not a problem, but something that most people, let's say in New York City, because this is where it's based out of. Well, not even that don't want to do. I'm getting older, and I know that I have to be up. I have to be at work at 7 a.m. and I don't want to stay up until midnight as a release, or whenever this does come out. Or I have to then leave work, stand in line, and still not get there in time for a new release for whatever it is. Yeah. So this way, this person can stand in line for you. You pay them the amount, and you get that new device. Yeah, you got to pay a little bit more as time goes on, but I think it's definitely worth it for different things. Or let's say and he said one of the biggest things is people from out of town. So let's say I want to go see a movie. I want to go see Hamilton. That was one of the things he looked at. I want to go see Hamilton, so I'll buy a ticket for Hamilton, or I'll buy this guy to stand in line for me for Hamilton, and this way he'll get me the ticket, and I don't have to go early to New York City an extra day just to stand in line. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but I thought it was a unique situation that this guy exploits. So
you're talking about a theatrical show.
Yeah, the show Hamilton.
Yeah.
So or anything, Cats. I'm not sure what's the newest thing right now, but
just anything that would be a theatrical.
Yeah, anything that's on Broadway or anything at all that you need to stand in line for.
Yeah.
In New York, this guy will do for you. And
that makes sense. I think it's interesting concept. It actually reminds me of the Actually reminds me of the concept of the guy who walks people. And I don't know if you guys have heard that story or not, but there's just a guy who will just walk with you. Like, you're not like lonely or anything. I think we may have even talked about it.
I think we did talk about it for a brief moment. But yeah, another little exploit so you don't walk by yourself or don't exercise by yourself. And I know I'm not trying to be sexist when I say that, but women out there, I'm sure that's something that they would like to have somebody walk with them.
He actually said most. I think the story actually said most of the people are just like dudes who just want to like bro date out. You know, like.
Well, if you pay for a friend, I don't know about that.
What if?
But that's the whole point of his concept is you're not paying. He's not a bodyguard. If somebody tried to mug the girl, I'm sure he would stop them. But like the whole point is just like what you're doing is paying for company. Like that's what he does. That's like the whole shtick is like.
Well, I would have to disagree with that's mostly what he does because as a guy, I know I go down to Detroit for different. Sometimes concerts, sometimes events, mostly sports though. If I go downtown for sports and I usually have some people with me, there was this one time specifically that I remember that I had a friend that was walking a little bit behind more than normal. And this guy came up and started talking to her. It was a guy I didn't recognize. I don't know if she knew him. She was kind of looking ahead at me and then guy was still talking. So I cut back and say, "Hey Lisa, how's it going?" You know, just making sure she knew he knew I was with her, not like together, but you know, I was here with her, and he literally backed off, said, "Sorry, dude," and walked away. And maybe nothing would have came from it. Probably not. I don't know.
No, I mean, I'm not discrediting the fact that like people might use it as a safe space, you know, a mobile safe space, if you will, or a lookout or a unintentional bodyguard, however you want to look at it. I just
think, bigger groups, people are more deterred from you too as well. You're running with your headphones and you're not paying attention. But no, I think it's an exploit that people don't focus on. I think that's really neat.
That guy specifically though, in the video, I'm pretty sure he's like he talks about how his main focus is like just to like be a sponge for ventilation and, you know, people who want to, you know, just talk about anything, but he'll walk with you, like, you know, not like, you know, like
I think there was a side thing he figured out was that, you know, that's what people actually want him for, which is cool. Hey, do whatever you want to do. But
just where I was like, people, you know, if I said that more guys were just like basically, you know, bro dating out with him. But anyway, we're getting a little long here.
Well, I've been trying to say something that I think would be awesome. I'm pretty sure I came across something that was very similar to this, except they employed homeless people to do it. Where essentially like the agency would be the shelter and they would literally just have homeless people go out there and do that exact same thing. And
I think I've seen that too.
And that would be awesome because that would then fix, you know, that would not solve the problem, but that would like give someone an honest day's work and get people their bougie movie tickets and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that it's another option for that, I guess. It's a job where almost anybody can do it regardless of status or class.
You mean it's a job one, bet your life. Stand in line and wait for tickets.
Sure. Let's move on to nerdy news after Drew's rendition of...
With a way better song than Dragon Ball Z's Chada Head Chada. So Earth Day happened for those of you that are keeping up with our planet Earth.
I thought every day was Earth Day, Josh. As long as we're here on this beautiful planet.
But so on the 21st, so the day before Earth Day, premiered Bill Nye Saves the World. It is one of those like main dump releases from Netflix where they literally just put the whole entire first season out on Netflix. Man, I've since watched the entire thing because my priorities are a little messed up. So
failing school, watch the entire season of Bill Nye Saves the World.
yeah, that's right. Bill Nye only has a master's degree in engineering, guys.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
No, he has a PE.
Yeah. Does he?
Yeah, he has a license in professional engineering.
I thought he had a master's in engineering.
No, he would have to have it's called a PE, but it's at the same level as, let's say, a doctorate.
And well, he has a couple honorable doctorates, but
yeah, it's not a doctorate though. It's called a professional engineer, a PE degree. He's a licensed degree or licensed engineer. And you only get that as a licensed engineer as a PE. You're gonna look that up. Take the time on the podcast, look it up.
I'm pretty sure Bill Nye has has multiple degrees, but I thought one of them was a mechanical engineering degree, master's from a college. I'm just trying to figure out which one was.
I mean, he doesn't have to get a master's degree from a college in order to get a PE, but it is a stepping stone to that spot. Usually if you want to teach, you get a PhD, but if you want to work or do your trade, a PE is what you typically require to get there. So that's
so BS in mechanical engineering from Cornell. So far,
I think he also went to MIT to get his master's. Could be incorrect.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that.
Well, go ahead and talk to us about the show, and I can do some research.
Well, so this show is I'm a big fan of Star Talk too, and a lot of the stuff that they brought up in Star Talk are things that they talk about on Bill Nye Saves the World. And even on Star Talk, his catchphrase is like, and even, dare I say it, save the world. And he's very theatrical with things like that. And that goes right into his show. But one of the things I really like about it is I try to stay up on like current, I guess, people that would replace Bill Nye at some point in time. Like if he were to ever die, like scientists that I find on YouTube channels and stuff like that. And they picked a couple that I recognized from either being on Star Talk or also that have YouTube channels to be like news correspondents to go out and talk about these different things. Each episode, just like the old PBS TV show for Bill Nye, has a like one topic that they talk about for the entire show. So there's like an intro piece. There's a go out and see what the news correspondent picked up. Come back, talk about that. There's panels of experts where they go over panels of experts. And then usually there's some like finale wrap up for the show. But it's just like really good. I don't know. I love it. I just continued watching episode after episode after episode. Also, the caveat, Tyler, the creator, made the new theme song for it. And I linked it in our Google Doc. It's pretty friggin' sweet. So, yeah, Bill Nye Saves the World on Netflix. Definitely worth the admission for Netflix. Go out, check it out. It's fantastic, even just for a month.
I like that you said admission for Netflix.
I mean, it technically $10. It's your admission for Netflix now.
Yeah, it was
which isn't bad. Yeah, for the online. So based on my small amount of research, this is on downtrend.com. Nye has a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from Cornell University, but he also has 6 honorary doctorate degrees, including a PhD in science from, and then the names off a few, or only names off 2 of them, Grusher College and Resnalier Polytech Institute. So as of right now, he only has a bachelor's of science, is what I'm understanding.
I mean,
yeah.
we're just under the clarification that the honorary PhDs do not count.
Honorary PhD can be given to literally anybody for any reason.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
Verify that that's not the PhD you meant, right, Josh?
No, I thought he had a master's degree because I knew he didn't have a PhD. Neil deGrasse Tyson has a PhD, but like I thought he at least had a master's degree. But like one of my things I was just pointing out is like Bill Nye, like is not someone who, like, I mean, he's a very brilliant individual, but like he's not someone who got this way by, you know, like going to school, going to the top schools in the country forever. Like, I mean, he went to Cornell, which isn't bad, but I mean, like getting, like Rutgers gave him a honorary doctorate. John Hopkins gave him an honorary doctorate as well. Couple different places that are prestigious, I should say. So like you don't need to get this prestigious degree to be an awesome scientist like Bill Nye. So I just wanted other people out there to
I have the same
consider
degree
the following. Technically you do, don't you? So see?
I could be like Bill Nye.
That's
That'd
right.
be pretty cool.
Bill Nye the science guy.
So yeah, that's pretty cool actually. Now I have a whole new respect for that.
Thank you
idea.
for considering the following. Consider the following was a
overall though, Josh, I've only seen the first episode and haven't had a chance because of the wedding this weekend. Overall, you recommend the episode still?
I recommend the entire season. Like, don't sleep tonight. Just watch the entire first season.
I'm gonna sleep tonight.
How many episodes is it?
13, probably. I don't know. I'm guessing 13. That's all Netflix stuff.
Yeah, 13 episodes, half hour apiece.
Yep.
So
I'll definitely be checking that out though.
7
I mean,
hours.
There's some really good topics in there too. I don't know. Like, it's not spoiling it if you go through it, but I mean, climate change starts off. There's pseudoscience ones. There's malarkey, which is kind of a funny episode. I mean, just a lot of things that I think are awesome, like different healthcare practices. Over than that, I mean, just great. I think it's also part of the Make America Smart campaign, which is also put on by the people that do Star Talk.
Very cool. So I think that will kind of good transition into our sciencey news, right? Good. So last week we talked about batteries a little bit, and I think we're going to continue on that topic of batteries. And we also always talk about Tesla as well. Did we want to talk about Nikola Tesla at all, or do we want to save that for a future episode?
No, that's up to you guys. We have half an hour to fill, so.
I mean, you mean we only have a half hour. Nikola Tesla is a fantastic person. I don't have any like extra stuff pulled up about him right now, but I mean, I know there's plenty of things off the top of my head that I could talk about for Nikola Tesla. Just don't know if anybody else cares.
I know they have for Nikola Tesla, and we'll just talk briefly on this, but like in New Jersey, where he actually had one of his main labs, they have the big, I think it's a Tesla coil, obviously, but it's a big wireless electricity transmitter. Do you know if that's still going on? Because I heard last that they were updating it, getting new equipment, and they were going to actually open it and whatnot. But I'd like to actually go see that.
The wireless power generator that he was talking about?
Yeah, they were going to actually start building it.
Don't think they ever actually... Like, I know they started building it in New Jersey, but I don't think they ever finished building it.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything like new since then.
Yeah. I mean, the idea was brilliant. You know, you charge the air, you know, anywhere you want, and then you just walk around with a receiver and you plug the receiver into the ground. And then once you make that circuit, then the receiver can generate, you know, pull power from the air, which was kind of neat. And essentially powering large swaths of areas without ever doing wires. which is really funny because you know how I feel about wires crisscrossing and running everywhere, and how wireless technology is probably going to be the future. It's something Nikola Tesla did in 1890, right?
I think it was
Late
1930s.
Well, but I mean, late 18th century or 1800s, I thought was when he was working on wireless power.
Oh, very well could be.
Just check out here real quick. 1890s to 1906.
Okay.
Oh yeah, in Colorado Springs, he was also working on the giant. Like he had a laboratory in Colorado Springs as well. But yeah, Wardenclyffe Tower was what is being built in. Was going to be built in Shoreham, New York, just 100 miles east of Long Island. So, yep, basically was going to try to power a bunch of stuff. But, I mean, lots of fun things. Like Nikola Tesla is a great inventor. A lot of the stuff that he's been credited with might not be solely just Nikola Tesla, but he kind of gets a lot of the credit for it because he was mistreated. I mean, the debate goes, you know, Thomas Edison brought him along to help out, and after about 6 months of not being paid fairly for contributing the majority of the ideas, he was let go and decided to do his own thing. Doesn't stop the fact that the dude was very troubled. Psychological issues with Nikola Tesla. I'm trying to find on the Wikipedia page here. There was like a list of like psychological fears that he had.
Yeah, it was a lot. But
I can't find them all.
I also, he was called.
So, damn it.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so you mean there was a Tesla coil of anxiety?
Yes.
Terrible pun, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, you guys are terrible at this pun joke thing.
We're fathers. That's why.
Yeah, but I still think it's dumb.
It gets worse as you get older.
It gets worse as you get fatherlier.
Drew, do you not have any fun Nikola Tesla things?
I have 5 Nikolas make a quarter.
Wow.
So it's a negative, is what you're saying.
Wow. Wow.
Well, point is also the next thing that deals with the batteries is the Tesla battery. We talked about the Model S degradation, and I did find an article. I think we briefly talked about it last week about the how many cycles and then where it's actually at currently with the Model S battery. This paper that was published is as of April 5th of this year. And this is showing that from an exact start of a little over 100%, it's an average, obviously. So if you start off with a perfect 100% battery, degradation you'll reach about, I'm going to go with like 93 to 91% after 800 charges. So after roughly 800 charges, you go down to 91% of what a battery could do. And I think that's definitely unique in a sense, because this data is from Tesla's website. Actually, I apologize. It's not from the Tesla website. It is from teslanomics.co. So that is where the data comes from. And these are from 2,170 different vehicles. This data is from. It shows a range of all the information, and more data keeps coming in, is what I'm understanding. But this kind of gives you an understanding, too, of the Model 3 and that battery life or lifespan it could be, because as more information, as more time comes on for the Chevy Bolt and other Nissan Leaf and other batteries, you'll get a better understanding of if it's worth the price for those batteries, or what kind of future batteries we could make.
So a drop in about 7 or 8% over 750 charge cycles is about 15 miles in range for their smallest battery pack. I mean, it's with more and more of the battery pack, with larger and larger battery packs too, they might see a smaller decrease there. And also, I'm not quite sure how they did cycles, like how many miles were they putting on? Like, were they going full to almost empty, full to almost empty? I was going to say 750 times.
I would assume that the basis would be off of a full charge to depleted. I understand that typically phones and other electronic devices, you don't typically, even probably Josh probably doesn't even go a full charge without, or a full battery cycle without recharging a little bit in between here and there. I mean, do you go a full charge and then plug it in every night, or do you?
No, I use maybe 50% on a bad day of charge and then plug it back in.
This is saying that.
So that's what I was asking, is just to make sure you don't ever like charge one day and then go 2 days without charging and then charge it when it gets closer to zero. You charge it every night.
Correct. Yeah. I was reading this article again here, and it does say that people were encouraged to go near zero and charge back up to 100%, which it even says don't charge to 100% on like Tesla's like battery app. Like, it shows you, if you're just doing daily commutes, only charge to about 85% anyways. So I usually just drop from 85 to 50, like on a bad day. So I think that would prolong life cycles.
Do you think that this is information or I don't know if anybody said it, I can't remember, if this is information that is being sent to Tesla?
I believe so. I don't think it wouldn't be not sent to Tesla. Or if not, I think it's on the internet. So I think Tesla's researchers are constantly...
That's what I meant, like...
going through the forums or Reddit or whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I was more so wondering if you think it, like Josh specifically, if you think it's information that like the internals of your Tesla are reporting the data, or if it's just user reported.
I think Tesla is a company who is innovative enough to try to get as much data as possible. And so I would be hard pressed to believe that they don't do as much as possible to get that type of data pulled in. But so that's just my opinion. I really don't know for any facts on that.
When I called roadside assistance for Tesla, they were able to pull a ton of stuff about my car, like just from like what it's reporting to them through the cellular connectivity. Like they're able to like see if my lights were on, like are my windows down. I mean, they could do all of that. So to think that they're not doing something like monitoring like battery usage and like temperature outside and then cross putting that against like what the weather's like. No, I'm almost positive they're doing it. But even the thing that I think people might not be thinking is like, you don't physically need to have people drive Tesla cars around to figure out battery degradation.
Yeah.
You could just literally have a battery that sits there that goes, discharge, goes, discharge, and they could rapidly do that, through a normal cycle over days and days and days and days and days. And they could probably, you could probably get this same information calculated within a couple hundred days.
I agree and disagree with you in some sense, because as far as the car just sitting there and then filling up and discharging and filling up and discharging, that's not real world usage, because when you floor it, you're using obviously more voltage, the battery is draining faster, or when you're just taking off slower, the voltage is lower. And also any shocks that the car absorbs, so any movement in the battery, that also needs to be simulated. I feel like that could, quote unquote, loosen something up or make it act in a different way. I think there's more factors, and definitely any time when you can get real world data is definitely better than a laboratory scenario. And yeah, you can do it faster, but yeah.
Even in a laboratory scenario, they can still simulate some of that information. Not saying you're wrong. I'm kind of agreeing with you, but they could still simulate some of that. They, put a battery on a time, basically a timer cycle that, it jumps the usage every, 10 minutes. It acts as if you're flooring it. And then, every 7 or 8 minutes, you get a little rattle underneath of it, whichever. But even being in a test scenario, they can do that 24 hours a day, as opposed to only when you're able to drive it, No,
and I get that. And I know when I was working with a company that worked on trailer hitches, they had an actual accelerometer in their vehicle. And when they were going over bumps, they would take that data, and then on their test rig, they would just simulate that same strength, but actually increase it by 3. So they had a more real life understanding of what was actually going on back there.
That's an engineering trait, isn't it? Like if you like, there's a percentage that, like, when you build a bridge, you
2.5%, 2.5 times. Yeah. It's a thing for everything. So like when you build something, whatever the market's like, if you sit in a chair, that chair's weight limit is, let's say, 300% or 300 pounds. They usually test it to 900 pounds or like probably 750, just so they can get a better understanding of it. That's not always the case, especially with, like you said, chairs. 750 pounds is a lot. They probably test it to possibly double to the 600. But they definitely will test it. Anything to do with something with safety standards, usually it's minimum of 3, maximum of, not maximum, but a nice point is 5. So anytime there's like a guardrail or something, they'll test it with a car hitting at full force, and then they'll make sure that is a real life scenario, and it's about 5 times greater when they test it.
Yeah, like
whatever.
Like the yoga trapeze that I got it's actually rated, and its suggested weight is 600 pounds, but it's actually rated at 900. They said you could actually do like 900 pounds or whatever as far as the material is concerned. Obviously, your support beams are rated differently, and that's up to your.
And steel, I know for me would be different than you said a yoga trapeze.
Well, yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's the yoga swing.
Looks like a sex swing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, just making sure we're on the same page of what you're using it for. Thank you.
Oh, well, we're not. We're not. Not yet, at least.
But as we're talking about battery degradation, I'm sure you've heard of it by now, especially if you follow anything with science. One of the things we've talked about in the past, and we'll talk about today, is quote unquote the new perfect battery. Josh, if you want to talk about this one.
Yeah, it's just me. It's kind of like the little battery bunny thing, except the new perfect battery is me. I just run around marching, and I am the perfect battery.
What is your instrument though? Because the drum is copyrighted. The drum.
I have a harmonica. It's different. Yeah.
Which just seems stupider. There's an actual. If you guys watch the Grand Tour, the guy had this new car. It's like, this car burns no gas, no electricity. You're gonna love it. And it's this guy underneath in a little pedal car, and he's just pedaling away. You sit up here, and the guy underneath is pedaling. And
that's hilarious.
That's what I think of when you said that.
Yep. No. So the new batteries are co-invented by J.P. Goodenough, right? John, I can't think of his middle initial now. But he is the lithium ion king. or the Lion King, as we watched in our fun little video. So he helped co-author a paper from the University of Texas about a substitute for the lithium-ion technology. Instead of using a liquid and electrolyte mix, he would use a solid silicon battery, basically. I think it's a silicon dioxide battery from what I was looking on there. But it has faster charge times, longer battery life, up to 3 to 10 times longer, as far as like density and storage that it can do. I would assume they're heavier batteries. Obviously, being more dense would make them heavier, I would think. But they also have a lot of really good technologies going into them to make them so they last longer than conventional batteries do now. So I don't think there's a single electronic device that's made in 2017 that is, if it is battery powered, is not using a lithium ion cell, which is just crazy to think about, that one guy in his 90s has now redone it again and made, like, so this was 20 years ago he made the lithium ion cell. Guy's like 92 right now.
94.
I think 94. So 20 something years ago makes a lithium ion cell when he's in his 70s, and now 20 years later he's like, oh,
yeah,
by the
how
way,
much is he really doing? I mean, he's probably walking through the lab like, good job, everybody, and then walks into his office and sleeps half the day.
so
I mean,
I know
the issue is that it was like his brainchild, though, right? That's like his, like, he thought about it.
like, if that's the case, then lithium ions were like the redheaded stepchild. Like, he was just like they were just like I guess we can do this for the next 20 something years, but really my pride and joy is going to be on this next big thing that I'm thinking about.
So he's basically been conjuring up this new battery since before the same time as lithium ion.
I would assume so. I mean, since the beginning of him thinking about batteries, I think this is the dream battery that everybody has been wanting to create, and so much so that, like, we're not even sure how it works 100% because it is a newer idea. But let me just quick preference this. I watched a video of a philosopher in one of my epistemology classes. Dude was like 97 doing a philosophy conference, and I kid you not, there were people who took his work from like 30 years ago and they said, hey, in this paper on this subject or on this topic, you wrote this. What did you mean by that? And he's able to recall and like give answers for that at like 90 something years old.
Well, he's also probably got that question, 13 million times since then.
Which makes him an expert at answering it.
I mean, I agree with you. My grandfather tells me stories like 14,000 times that I've heard already. Like my grandfather, I think he's one of the smartest people I've ever met. And he tells me the story of when he went to go to work every day, he would buy 2 pairs of boots. He would wear the one pair of boots the first day, and then the second day he would wear the second pair of boots. He would alternate. And while I understand this is like the sum of both boots last longer than if you were to wear one pair of boots than the second pair of boots, because they have time to breathe, they have time to remain stronger. It makes sense. I've heard that story many, many times. And
I've actually heard it twice.
So I mean, you've heard it from another state.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I visited your grandparents a lot.
So stuff from back then. I'm not saying that he's not smart. I don't know the gentleman that we're talking about, but age does have a factor of forgetfulness.
But I mean, it would be like me talking to your grandpa and being like, hey, when you worked for Ford, how many complete revolutions did it take to put this specific lug nut on this specific car? And your grandpa just being exactly like, that's what I mean. Like, and if we're talking about building those cars, your grandpa is going to be the foremost expert on telling us how to do it. Like, the same way that I'm sure that
how many pounds did a 1984 Ford Mustang's quarter fender weigh? He would probably know. That's like,
was he working for Ford in the 80s? Because I feel like he was retired by then.
Oh my God, he's been retired longer than he's actually worked there. But I know what you're talking about, Drew. Yeah. He did
Just throw out a random year. Sorry.
exactly. No, you're fine. Josh giving you a
My
hard time.
continuity is not correct.
Yeah.
Someone's keeping track of all this. Like, there's a Wikipedia page for Sexy Nerd Science, and now it's
nobody
Dale's
listens to this. What are you
grandpa
talking
retired from Ford at this date.
I'm editing the Wikipedia page right now.
I think the point of the battery story is to talk about the newest, if not even newest, definitely, hopefully a revolutionary new way of doing batteries.
We don't know how it works. I mean, it's really hard to talk about it other than the fact that, like, this could be super amazing and be the next step for the next, 25, 30 years. Probably longer than that. Like, I don't see lithium ion cells just dying overnight and becoming replaced by this. I guess, how many people remember nickel hydride batteries?
I was going to say, what about the graphene? I mean, I just heard a story recently that they might be able to mass produce it quicker now, or start being able to mass produce it.
And I mean, I would assume graphene's going to act like a supercapacitor that can charge and discharge super fast. I don't know if it's good for longevity use on a supercapacitor. Because how do you stop it from discharging super fast is the problem.
I don't know. I would say some type of mini capacitors in series or parallel. I don't know.
We're asking questions that, like, contemporary scientists struggle with today. 3 dudes on a podcast aren't going to have the answer. Like,
we'll figure it out. Hey, fucking Bill Nye has a BS. We can do this, okay? We just got to get there, Josh.
Degree.
Yeah. But I think that kind of wraps it up. We're at 51 minutes right now. Let's talk about the Sexy Nerd of the Month real quick. And Andrew Heath was on the podcast, I think, 2 weeks ago, at April 9th. Mm-hmm. We got to talk to him, which was really cool. Please check his stuff out. He will be at Planet Comicon, and if we don't get a sit down with him, we'll definitely get pictures and whatnot. Anything to add with him, guys?
No. He's got a couple exclusive Pokemon prints out right now. I think it's like called Library, I think is the print. It is the Pokédex. It's pretty neat. And then his pizza pins are back in stock, or his pizza painting pins, or his I can't remember what they're called. Cheesy panties, whichever. Those are back in stock on his website. He did that for us the day he was there. Yeah, we look forward to seeing him. He is. Let me look it up. You guys talk about something else. Section question of the week. I'll tell you what booth Andrew Heath is in.
Oh, definitely. That'd be cool. Yeah. Again, for Planet Comicon, we're at 2224. The maps online, we'll definitely have it. You'll be able to find us when you get there with more maps. But 2224, we'll be wearing the purple shirts, as you know, with our logo, with the big
pink hoodie,
or pink hoodie with the explosion of our thing. We'll probably be recording a little bit either at the con or afterward sometime. Maybe we'll have some type of meetup. And hopefully we'll run into Kyle Kinkle. Am I saying that right?
That's almost a guarantee.
Yeah.
I don't know why we have to say hopefully.
Well, I say
our biggest
hopefully.
fan will be. You know what? Let's come, everyone. Let's get Kyle to just chill at our booth for a little while, and everybody can meet our biggest fan.
Yeah, but I definitely.
He's literally hung out at our booth both times.
I love Kyle so much, and the first day, hopefully, we're going to be going to Legoland together because you guys aren't going to get there till the afternoon, and me and Kyle are going to go to Legoland, and we're going to go to.
We'll talk about this after the podcast. I honestly don't know what's stopping us from leaving early Thursday anymore.
I think Drew's working, or Tasha's working. Or something. We'll talk about it later. The point is, we'll be there at the convention, and it'll be awesome. And we will hopefully see you guys there. Last week's question of the week. We good for that, guys?
Yes.
Last week's question of the week: what shirt fonts should we have? I didn't think I saw anything. I don't know if we've even posted anything, which is definitely my bad on that one. A lot going on this past week.
It's okay. We did decide on fonts though.
Yeah, we did. We definitely like the. Well, you'll find out. I don't know if
we'll find out via Teespring,
but it's definitely really cool.
Bella Fonta.
Don't you wanna Fanta? Question. Not question. Andrew Heath's booth is 1039.
He exclaimed.
In Artist Alley. So
not question. Exclamation.
He looked excited on his phone as he looked for the number.
We're just narrating Drew now.
Please, that's awesome. I love it. So
he thought aloud.
He's going to be directly, we'll call it east of the or north of the elevators. If you're looking at the map,
don't use cardinal directions unless you're 100% sure.
North on the con map to the top side of the map.
Well, there'll also be a app that they're going to come out with that he'll have.
This is specifically where I'm looking at it.
It's already on the app, and I already have my schedule done on the app.
Oh, do you? Oh, good. I need to do that.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, we need to do that on the back end of this podcast.
Yeah. Do you guys like the question for this week? I have to ask you this every week, guys, and you never pay attention until I say something.
I was looking for Andrew Heath's thing. Thank you very much. Last week, I read the question. Thank you.
I have been nodding the entire time as you were typing that, being like, so, I mean, I get it. I'm right there with you, Dale.
Okay.
I think that's a good question. Last week's question of the week, this week's question of the week, would you stand in line for money? What wouldn't I do for money is the real question.
I guess that's what we could add as the question. What wouldn't you do for money?
I'm not gay, but $20 is $20.
But I won't do that.
Wow, no, I won't do anything for love, anything you've been dreaming of, but you won't do that.
Very in depth there.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on SoundCloud, iTunes, our website, SexyNerdScience.com, and Wikipedia, soon to be.
Come chill with us at Planet Comicon. We'd love to see your faces. Bring some games. Maybe we can play games together.
Facebook, Twitter. We also have those as well.
Doobly-doos.
YouTube, possibly. Slowing down a little bit just because it's hard to edit. But otherwise, yes, we'll have YouTube videos.
It's rock hard to edit.
And I think that's it. Anything else to send off, guys?
Nope. Yeah, that's it. Also, it sounds like we're not going to... Very little web content is suitable for inclusion into Wikipedia. Web content includes, but is not limited to, webcomics, podcasts, blogs, internet forums, online magazines, and other media.
Is this the disclaimer we have to read at the end of our podcast from now on?
No, this is the Wikipedia's...
Oh, gotcha.
Website. The only disclaimer we have to just read at the end of our podcast is, warning, ear choking hazards.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye.